Hi, I'm Amy Jo Cousins, author of Off Campus, which comes out this December 30th, and I'm participating today in the New Adult Read Aloud, reading from Megan Erickson's Make It Count, which you can see here in black and white because I have the really cheap Kindle, but you should go and check out the cover in its full color glory because it is indeed glorious. So here we go. This is Megan Erickson's Make It Count. They dissolved into the crowd on the dance floor, Alec taking her to the far corner, as far away from Max as they could get. Kat didn't protest. Once they reached an empty spot among the writhing bodies, Alec grabbed her around the waist and pulled her to him. Thigh to thigh, hip to hip, chest to chest. They'd never been this close before. His eyes, normally such a pale green, sparked in the club lighting, and there was a sexy smirk to his mouth. His fingers on her lower back were insistent, pressing and conveying a message that her foggy brain didn't want to analyze. He leaned down so his lips were at her ear and whispered, "Show me what you got." Now that she could do. The deep bass of the song was a thudding pulse down her spine, and each horn blast was like a shot of adrenaline right into her veins. She'd loved dancing ever since her mom had given Kat her first tutu before ballet class. She closed her eyes and let the beat of the song tap into her bones. She bent her knees and rolled her hips and shoulders, her fingers tangling into Alec's hair like she'd imagined many times, while he kept his face pressed into her neck. He let her lead at first, and then his hips began to churn. He followed her movement, anticipating every shift of her body. And she was lost. She was lost to the music, lost to the lust roaring through her veins, and most of all, lost to Alec, to the feel of the muscles in his arms and shoulders rippling under her hands, a strong thigh pressed between her legs and his hips grinding into hers. He lifted his head, and when they locked gazes, she couldn't look away. Something shifted behind his eyes, and his pupils dilated. Kat saw the desire in them, the red-blooded male look that said he wanted to rip her clothes off. His hands, which had migrated to her ass, squeezed, and she wondered if her look echoed his. He blinked and jerked his gaze away before gripping her waist and spinning her around roughly so her back was to his front. She took a step back in her heels until they were locked in an embrace, and she continued to follow the beat, grinding her butt back into him. Alec held her tightly with a strong grip on her hips. She'd thought she'd felt his arousal before, but now she was definitely sure, the thick ridge pressing against her. His breath rushed hot along her temple, and she reached back with one hand, curling a finger into a belt loop on his jeans, pressing him closer. Her entire body felt slick from sweat, from the press of bodies on the dance floor, and most of all because of the roaring attraction between her and Alec. A hand brushed her hair over one shoulder, and a gust of cool breath wafted over the damp skin at the back of her neck. Closing her eyes, she groaned low in her throat, and Alec rumbled a groan in response before he pressed his hot lips to the spot he had cooled. The contact sent a jolt straight down her spine, and she stiffened in surprise, shock, and lust. Alec's movements stopped behind her, and then his lips returned to her ear, and he whispered in a low, raspy voice, "Kat, we need to stop." And that's where Megan stopped us, because she's a terrible tease who wants us all to go and read Make It Count right away, which we will definitely do because the story should not stop there. That was Megan Erickson's Make It Count. I'm Amy Jo Cousins, and this is the New Adult Read Aloud. Hope you're having fun. Bye.